And we're live. It is 7 p.m. on Thursday evening. It is 1/28/21. And boy, is Wall Street not happy. So tonight we're just going to be talking about some stonks and QAnon craziness across multiple politicians and spectrums tonight. We have pretty much just those two topics to cover tonight because timing wise, that'll be about right. So, okay, so I'll try and do my best to try and explain what's going on as far as this GameStop. I'm sure you've heard this stuff now. If not, what's going on here is and first off, before I get into this, if you want to read the actual full details of what's going on now, I'm going to say some of this has got some financial speak in it that if you don't trade or you don't know anything about it, which I don't, then some of this is a little bit confusing. So you can go through. This guy is Toxic at Toxic. What a killer Twitter handle. I don't know how he got that, but he explains it very well. This whole thread is one of those, and I even posted that here. That this thread is one of the few threads on Twitter that I've seen that's actually there's not a lot of dumbasses or shit posters, and it's everybody has really good questions and input, and this Toxic guy responds to everybody. So it really is a full you can read that if you want to go into the full details. I'm just going to have to give the overview because for one, I'm not that up on this kind of thing. But what's happening here is his first tweet here. It says Citadel pays Robinhood. Now, Robinhood is an app that is a trading app, and that is what these Redditors and people online are using to trade. And so Citadel is a company that pays Robinhood for order flow, meaning all the people that are buying and clicking and buying and selling stocks, that's the order flow. And Citadel gets to see Robinhood's orders a few milliseconds before they're filled. And you may think well, what is that doing for them? These companies pay millions of dollars for a few milliseconds because they are able to use the information of what stocks are being bought and sold through Robinhood a slight bit before Robinhood gets to. So they get a slight advantage for that, right? So what's happening, it says that Citadel gets to see Robinhood's order a few milliseconds before they're filled. Citadel may choose to front run some of those trades. And I think, and I should have looked this up, but I think front run is they've decided that they're going to run with, they see a trend or whatever and they're going to run with it. I think. I'm sure I'll be corrected on that because I haven't looked it up. Excuse me. Robinhood's customers and Wall Street Bets, which is Wall Street Bets. There's a subreddit called Wall Street Bets, and basically they're manipulating the GameStop stock by everyone is banding together in this Wall Street Bets and saying, we have seen that hedge funds have massive shorts on some of these failing stocks, right? And a short is basically a hedge fund betting with what could be infinite losses. Technically, theoretically, it could be infinite losses for the company. But they are betting that stocks like GameStop, there's AMC, Bed Bath & Beyond, I saw, there's a few that have came to light now that we see that these companies are not doing very well. COVID has hurt these companies and they are in the decline. And GameStop has been hurting for a long time. And they at the time that this started, their stock was around $20 a share, maybe. So just dirt ass cheap. And I think now I mean, I haven't looked at it yet today, as far as like where it's at right now, but they have driven it up to, it was like almost $300 or something, I thought, a share. Like it was an enormous amount. So he says they're officially manipulating GameStop. I keep saying GameStop stock, because these low value stocks are being very heavily shorted. And if something moves the value of the stock up, like tens of thousands of Redditors, then those short sellers may be forced to sell. So what happens is they have a group, these hedge funds have a group of investors. Now, a lot of times these are not even open to the public. These are private, invite only kind of funds where if you are a billionaire or you're an Elon Musk or you're somebody that's close to that level of wealth, then they'll allow you, or they'll allow big corporations. You just have to have extremely deep pockets most of the time. So they come in and find stocks like GameStop and see that they're failing, they're closing stores all over. I mean, you pretty much know they're out of business. There's nothing that's going to save them. The GameStop model was like out of date 10, 15 years ago. We don't buy games at stores anymore. We buy games online because we all have a fast enough internet to do so. So I don't understand why they've stayed around as long as they have. I guess they sell tchotchkes and toys and stuff. But anyway, it was discovered by a Redditor that there was a massive short bet on GameStop. And when the hedge funds put massive shorts on stuff like that, that is a massive, massive gamble for them. But they are, they're in it. They live it. They breathe it. They know the market way better, than anybody. And so they feel that before all this started, and they were correct, that GameStop was done. So they put massive short bet. And basically what happens with that is they're saying that we're going to bet GameStop stock is not going to go ever again above X level. And what happens is all of the people that are involved, those Elon Musk types, those big money people, and the all the people that are a part of that hedge fund are basically saying, okay, we'll give you the money, you can buy this, this stock or whatever. But when then they go to sell, the stock later, they can make money because it continues to go down, and they're pretty much guaranteeing that it's going to go down. So what happened was we found out that the GameStop the hedge fund had a massive short bet on it, 80% or something. And that's when things went awry. So they, in Wall Street Bets, got together with other few websites, people, a large internet community of traders, and they said, okay, we're going to screw these hedge fund companies, because these hedge fund companies bring nothing. They don't produce anything. They don't do anything for anybody but make themselves money and other rich people money, and they make massive gambles on things, and they've been allowed to run rampant for a long time. So they're pretty much universally hated. So when this group of people saw that GameStop had this going, they had these big shorts on GameStop, they decided that we were going to start driving this up. Because if, let's say that the hedge funds, thinking that it's around $20, $30 a share, and then they say that, okay, we're done with it, it's not going to go any higher than 30 or 20 or whatever, that's when they make their huge bet that it's never going back up again, okay? And so then huge influx of cash, and GameStop skyrockets. It's now bigger than like Under Armour, and they were saying that it's bigger than some of these huge companies. And all that really should do is tell the American people how the stock market, how fragile and fake and phony the stock market really is when it comes to the actual value of these companies. Because let's take Under Armour, for example. Under Armour is in almost every clothing retailing store that you walk into in this country. They are massive. They have, stores everywhere. They do amazing amounts of business. And now GameStop, which literally is doing nothing but closing stores. They are not producing anything. They're not opening any more stores. They're not doing anything else. They were literally in the process of downsizing to the point of maybe bankruptcy. And we have now inflated that stock to where it's now technically, as far as the market's concerned, way more valuable than some other companies that actually do have value, that actually do produce things and do things. This just shows you that our stock market is a fragile, phony fraud, and it has nothing to do with the value of a company. It's just a big gambling game for rich people. And so these Redditors have really stuck it to them. Because what happened, Melvin Capital is the company, the hedge fund that had the massive shorts on GameStop. And they probably bought all that stock, that short at little or nothing. And now when it's going higher and higher and higher and higher and higher, they then have to cut their losses and get out. Because they may have bought it for $20, but now they're going to have to, basically sell it back to these people for $20 when it's really worth $300, and they're going to take massive cuts. So they, after this, this is something that's never really happened before. No one knew that this was going to happen, and so it just kind of came out of nowhere, and they were not ready for that. And Melvin Capital had yesterday, it was over $1 billion, I think it was like $1.3 billion cash injection they had to do just to keep afloat and pay out. And they're now lying today. They're lying and saying that Melvin Capital closed out everything, essentially paid everything off and took a massive loss. But the thing is, that's not true. They haven't closed it out. They haven't paid everybody, and they're probably not going to be able to do that. They're probably, I wouldn't doubt, you watch, they'll cry for a bailout. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it a bit. But the internet, on a whim, with a few people and the help of Elon Musk, and all Elon Musk did on this was he follows the Wall Street Bets, I guess, and he retweeted it. He retweeted the link to Wall Street Bets. That's all he did. As soon as he did that, it went up 30%. So between the Redditors and the internet people and Elon Musk, they've driven GameStop up to the point now where if you want to use the word value when it comes to the stock market, it's now very valuable. Now, is it going to stay that way? No. They'll all get to a point to where they collectively as a group in this Wall Street Bets and the forums and the Reddit, subreddits, that when they are ready, they're going to sell, and then everybody will dump it and it'll be back down to nothing again. And all those people have made money. Now, Robinhood allows very small, you can buy small trade, very small. So a lot of these people aren't spending more than, I wouldn't say more than probably $300, maybe $500, maybe, and maybe even less than that. Some of these people are, and they're making money off. I mean, they're not making massive, but I mean, some people, a couple grand, and they took down a hedge fund. So great. No one feels sorry for these hedge fund people at all. They have just, exploited and exploited and exploited people, and it's time that they get their due. And so, I'm sure I haven't explained it. Like I said, I'm trying to explain this to, in a day's worth of research, because I'm not much of a trader. I don't know anything about, how this stuff works. And so I may have explained things wrong. I'm sorry. Do yourself a favor if you want accurate information and read this Twitter thread here that goes on and on and on and on. And it explains the ins and the outs. And if you read through this and you're not pissed off at hedge funds, then you may be evil yourself. So anyway, this is great. This is awesome. And so the first thing that I did was I want to go straight to Fox News, and I want to find out how they're handling it over there. And I bet Stuart Varney is probably not handling it very well. So let's take a look here and see what's going on.
GameStop, as of right now, is up about $100. The price is $248 per share, up 68% from yesterday's close. Earlier, it was above $300. Susan, you know what this is all about. Take me through the whole story, please.
Social media average Joes versus big money players. And guess what? The army of average Joes are winning so far, at least for now. But the question is, for how long? Elon Musk even tweeting out his approval with his tweets rallying the stock 30% in the after hours. Elon Musk tweeting game stonk, which is what it's been called on that Reddit Wall Street Bets page that's been behind
the other thing that has been a side, kind of like a funny side thing about all this, is listening to these news people try to explain what stonk is. It makes me laugh every time.
GameStop moves. Also, Silicon Valley investor Chamath Palihapitiya says he's betting thousands of dollars on GameStop with the $115 calls for the month of February. Now, GameStop, as we know, has rallied a crazy, they call this insane, 700% this month, literally killing the shorts. Ken Griffin, Steve Cohen-backed Melvin Capital, now says that they have closed their shorts. Andrew left this morning at Citron Capital doing the same, both losing money.
Yeah, we don't really think that's true. If you look at the math of this, it's very likely that's not true. What they're trying to do here is they're trying to run damage control. All of these, I'm sure, Fox and CNN and MSNBC or CNBC, all these places, I'm sure they're doing it. They're trying to run damage control for Melvin Capital, and they're going to lie on air and say they've closed out. And so what they're trying to do there is to get all these people that bought all this to sell it all. And they're still holding firm as of today. So we'll see
on that trade. Now, GameStop is worth over $10 billion at last count. That's more than Under Armour, more than American Airlines. And GameStop, I would argue, was a perfect target for this type of cartel of day traders. There's huge short interest in the stock, more than double the actual stock float, betting that GameStop was going to fall anyway. So this is a ripe opportunity. Kill out the lopsided short trades on a company that doesn't have a lot of stock to trade. You call this froth, I call it strategic.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay, well, I'm not sure whether we differ on this, but I'm calling it a casino, and I don't like it. I think it's going to change the nature of investing.
It's like, really, dude? The stock market's a casino. The entire fucking thing's a casino. Everything that goes on there is a casino.
And I don't know what the fallout's going to be. So let's bring in Shah Gilani, a longtime market watcher on this program. I say it's a casino-like atmosphere. My question is, does it spill over and hurt the rest of the market? What say you?
No, it will not spill over, it will not impact the market one iota. It's just what has been going on Wall Street for many, many, many years, if not as long as I can remember, and certainly long before I started trading 40 years ago. And I think your nearest best insight on what's happening is the comment from Elon Musk. Elon Musk is cheering on the short covering and the rallying stock because that's exactly what he did with his stock for many, many, many years, Stuart. Tesla had been shorted infinitely for so many years, and what happened? Every time he put out some good news, the stock rose, the shorts had to cover, and retail investors kept plowing into the stock. This is the exact same story that's going on in GameStop. So Elon Musk has been the beneficiary to the point of the fact that he is now the richest man in the world. So that's why he's cheering on GameStop. This is just part of the Wall Street game.
Well, let me press the point. Back in 1999, early 2000, the dot-com bubble. Who was left holding the bag? Who took the big losses? It was the little guy. Back then, they weren't called retail investors. They were called the little guy. Fast forward to today. Who's going to be left holding the bag when GameStop inevitably comes back down to earth? We've already got Melvin Capital, a big hedge fund, requiring an infusion of funds. That's why I'm pressing the point about the spillover effect, not just to the rest of the market, but to investing in general.
I don't think there's going to be any spillover, Stuart, because these big boys, the hedge funds, understand the game that they're playing. They know what they're doing when they're shorting. They know the exposure they have. They also know that they're facing retail investors who will gang up on them, as other hedge funds will tend to do, and gang up on guys that they know who have big short positions and try and force the stocks higher. This has been going on. It's a principled game, and everybody knows how to, and understands how it's played. So the fact that Melvin got caught in this, sorry, you lose. Retail has done a great job of going after a lot of these shorts and actually ganging up on them. This is just part of trading, and I think this is the welcome to the new world. We're going to see a lot more of this. We saw it in AMC. We're going to see it in a lot of other stocks, I think, continually as retail's power increases. And I think we see more and more retail investors coming into the market and working off these sites, the Reddit sites and some of these other chat room sites, gaining a lot of force, and they're going to be a force in the market for a long.
So what's happening here is Lou, or I almost called him Lou Dobbs, Stuart Varney there, he's stuck in a position that he's like between a rock and a hard place, because he's seeing the class that he shills for, the billionaire millionaire class, be completely owned by average Joes, and that gets under his skin, and he doesn't like it. You could tell that this bothers him, right? But what would fix the problem that he's talking about? Oh, that's right, regulation. The dirty word that no one uses in Fox, especially in Fox Business. And it was also glorious for me to see the CEO of NASDAQ on CNBC crying that we need more regulation. Suck it. We don't care. We don't care at all. Sorry. Cry me a river, is all I have to say. So, yeah, so that's what's going on, and it's continuing. The trend is now continuing. They're still holding GameStop. I don't think they've sold it yet, as of today, or as of yet. But AMC is their next target. And they listed a few. What this has actually done is listed a few companies that you may not have known that were really on the verge of bankruptcy, because of COVID. We found now that we knew GameStop. GameStop, I don't think, was affected by COVID. If anything, it would have been, it probably wouldn't have been affected because people stay home and play video games. But then again, they buy them online too, so I don't know. But we knew GameStop. But AMC was hit really bad. Its movie theaters all closed. AMC was in bad place too. So that's the new target. I heard Bed Bath and Beyond. There was another one. I can't remember what it was now, but there was a few that were like, I didn't realize they were in bad shape. So that's what this is shown. And, this is this whole situation, what this is eventually going to do is, I think it's going to rein in these hedge fund people a little bit, and they're not going to be putting massive shorts like that again, because billions of I think Melvin Capital is a $13 billion companies, how much they were worth, something like that. Pretty much bankrupt now. I don't know how they're going to survive this. I mean, they might, but that hurts you. So anyway, we'll move on from this, because I know some people are bored by this. I find this absolutely fascinating. So, all right, let's see if there was. I had some other. I was going to see if there was any other links I had tonight that was talking about the GameStop thing, but I don't think I did have anything else. So, all right, let's move on, and we're going to move on to the QAnon dum-dums that we talk about a lot. And today we're going to focus a little bit more on Marjorie Taylor Dum-Dum. And let's see here. Really should sort my stuff a little better, don't you think? There it is. All right. So the Democrats are now calling for the Marjorie Taylor Greene to be expelled from Congress. This was Rep. Jimmy Gomez from California announced on Wednesday that he will be introducing a resolution to expel Marjorie Taylor Greene from Congress. Her very presence in office represents a direct threat against the elected officials and staff who serve our government, and it is with their safety in mind and as well as the security of institutions and public servants across the country, Gomez said. He's pointed to several conspiracy theories and threats. It recently came out that I talked about on the show last night, that Marjorie Taylor Greene had been liking and sharing some very, very violent things. There was a comment that was basically like, so, we can hang Hillary and Obama now, and she liked that. And there was something about killing Nancy Pelosi, and she liked that and shared that article. This was in 2018 and 19. There's video of her chasing David Hogg from the shooting victim, the activist now, and she was chasing him on the street for a long time, following him and just running her mouth. And they've had enough of it, and they're going to try and expel her. Now, normally in this situation, I would say, of course, she's not going to be expelled. No, justice is never truly served when it comes to Congress people. But in this case, I think this might have traction, because the Republican Party is trying to run damage control on QAnon. And the left has done a pretty good job at tying the Capitol insurrection directly to the Republican Party and pinning that on them and saying this is the party of this is what the Republicans want, this is what the Republicans support, and that support is political violence, killing your political opponents, storming the Capitol, trying to take hostages and kill people. That's been now pinned on the chest of the Republican Party, and I think that they are now trying to do some damage control there, and they may offer Marjorie Taylor Greene up as kind of a sacrifice. Like, okay, well, look, we're trying to do the right thing. Let's get rid of this person. Honestly, if they wanted to do that, and if to be a successful move, they should do it for her, Lauren Boebert, and Josh Hawley. If they got rid of the three of those people, then I think that would help the Republican Party as a whole and show that they are not, they don't support these kind of beliefs, and try and back away from it. And you never know with the Republican Party. There's sometimes I think, oh man, they're going to have to run damage control. They're not going to survive this, a la Trump. Didn't matter. So I don't know. Will the Republicans do the right thing? Will they get rid of her? Well, I don't know. But that's what they're calling for. And let's hope that happens. Let's see here. This was the video of her harassing people. One of the videos. This one was when 2019 she came to Congress to try and get Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib to retake their oaths on a Bible and not the Quran.
They signed it. They swore in on the Quran.
Oh, we have the Bible. We're going to talk about swearing in on the how to swear in on the Bible with them, and let them know what our law says, that you can't swear in on the Quran. So.
Oh, really? Is that true? I don't think so. You can swear in on whatever you want. We're not a theocracy. We still have somewhat of a semblance of separation of church and state. You do not have to use a Bible. You do not have to use anything that she thinks that you should use. You don't have to do any of that stuff. And, just lunacy, is what it is. This is just like a pattern that is starting that we've seen, that has emerged over the last few, couple weeks after the Capitol storming, of what kind of a person Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert and Hawley, and others are. We've found out, and we've started digging around in their past, and we see stupid shit like this. And, it's just sore loser syndrome. You lost the election. You've pinned and shaped your entire personality around a political figure named Donald Trump, and he lost an election, and now you're flailing because you've committed sedition for Donald Trump. Like, You think you're a revolutionary for Donald Trump? Like, you're a moron. And so they're flailing now because they don't know they've lost. And after the storming, and we're finding these people, we're charging them, we're locking them up, and they're going to go crazy. And I think it's a very good idea to get rid of these morons. And she is definitely a moron. Let's see what else we have here. As far as QAnon goes, people are really trying to get the word out here. This was a
Folks,
video,
choose
a
wisely.
mobile.
If you just roll over, if you don't fight.
Yeah, like a mobile video truck they have here, and they pull up around DC and they play what happened here at the insurrection.
The whole world is watching, folks. Choose wisely. If you just roll over, if you don't fight.
We love you. You're very special.
So yeah, this MidasTouch.com, they're giving the Lincoln Project a run for their money. So it's good that we have to keep this up in the forefront. We have to keep this billboards and ads and signs. We have to keep this in the public, eye, because this, like everything else, they just want it to calm down, and so they can, go away, and then nothing will happen. And that's not going to happen. We're going to make sure that we show this to everybody, and you will pay the price, and you will not be in Congress anymore. If you're a QAnon believing dum-dum, out you go. You're a terrorist. That's all there is to it. And, I'm glad that this is being done, It's HuffPost articles talking about here, old acquaintances of the U.S. Capitol attackers are narking on their worst Facebook friends. So, we've all got that guy or those guys and girls from high school that are just dumb as fucking rocks that are, on your Facebook feed. And, you've known them for 30 years, and so you just keep them on your Facebook feed, never talk to them, but they're always posting crazy bullshit and QAnon bullshit. Well, all those people are, getting outed. And, a lot of people don't like those people. They don't like that kind of crazy QAnon terrorist activity stuff. And so it says a top FBI official said this week that the U.S. was grateful for Americans who made the tough decision to turn in friends and family members who took part in the January 6th attack on the Capitol. Some of you have recognized that this was such an egregious incident that you've turned your friends and family members, turned in your friends and family members. Steve Adentuno, I can't pronounce his name, the assistant director in charge of the FBI's Washington field office, said in a conference call with reporters on Tuesday, "We know that these decisions are often painful, but you picked up the phone because it was the right thing to do." And there's several instances that have gotten famous now on Twitter with, kids turning in their parents, husband. I saw there was one where the husband was turning in the wife because he told her not to go. And it's like, come on, man. You're going to get out. If you're going to storm the Capitol building and everybody on the planet has a fucking camera in their pocket, what do you think's going to happen? And we need, like I said, we need to have all of that footage needs to be up front in the public eye at all times, because we need to make sure this doesn't happen. So someone asked Ronna, good old Ronna McDaniel, Ronna Romney, what the RNC would do if Donald Trump decided to run in 2024 after all of this crap. And she says that the RNC would stay neutral in primaries. They are still scared. After all of this, they are still scared of Trump supporters not backing them. And so even though now you basically, as a political figure, can't tie yourself to Donald Trump anymore, he's too toxic, but so the whole party, instead of denouncing him and doing the right thing, is saying, oh, no, we're neutral. Anybody can run. We can't tell anybody we can't. They can't. So It says McDaniel didn't distance herself entirely from Trump, stating that the party has to stay neutral. I'm not telling anybody who to run or not to run in 2024. That's going to be up to those candidates going forward. What I really do want to see him do, though, is help us win back majorities in 2022, which you will not be winning any majorities in 2022. So the Republican Party is in a pickle. They don't know what to do. They are tied to a toxic brand, and it's a cancer that's killing them. You know, when you have stories come out like this with the Capitol Police Union saying that the acting chief failed, and we have video of some of these police officers taking selfies and, you know, letting these guys in, and you know, and the policing community, unfortunately, which is kind of what the whole Black Lives Matter movement was about, has been the policing in this country is just a kind of a corrupt organization as a whole, you know. And even I thought that the Capitol Police would be held to a little bit higher standard because of who and what they are protecting, but apparently they all have ties to right-wing, you know, well, not all of them, I say that, but a lot of them had ties to right-wing conspiracy websites and Facebook and stuff like that. And so these things are awful for the Republican Party. These stories that come out just are devastating, and it's just been a body blow after body blow for the Republican Party, with Donald Trump, all the horse shit that he did in 4 years, and the insurrection, and there's just story after story. And it, you know, the Republican Party didn't really have a very high favorable rating in terms of, like, when you just poll their policies, you know, amongst people, and don't tell people that it's a Republican or a Democrat policy, and just say, what are your feelings on X issue? And they tell you, and it's never favorable for the right wing and their talking points. So they're going to have to try and figure out something to rehab their party, and it's not going good. You know, Facebook and Google now are banning all of these, which they should have fucking done a long time ago. They're getting rid of these crazy, like, conspiracy, right-wing, gun nut, militia kind of bullshit. They're finally starting to, and Google, you know, are starting to do that. It's a little late for that now, but they're doing it. So, you know, good luck, Republicans. I don't know what else to tell you, but you're going to have to rehab your party quite a bit. So, okay, folks, I've got other stories. I could go on, but it is about that time, so we're going to wrap things up tonight. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Please subscribe, like, comment, share. I just had one person shared the right video not too long ago, and it immediately jumped up over 10,000 views and doubled my subscription memberships. So those little things help us out a lot, and we really do appreciate when you do those things. So if you enjoy the show at all and want to help out, that's all you have to do. I'm not asking for donations at this time. I'm not making any money off this. I'm a one-man shop. I do it all. I record, I research, I edit. I have to do it all. So all I ask is subscribe, like, comment, and share. So if you appreciate and like the show, then that's what you can do to help me out. So we'll see everybody back here tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern. This is the Be Progressive Show, and I am Brandon Neal. Have a good night.